you see, Ethan?
Hey guys, well, like I said, that's what Zach Taylor had to say afterwards. Yeah, Trey Henderson had a day off, Veterans Day off, nothing big to worry about, I don't think. I did figure out what was going on. For some reason, I did not put the show on YouTube. So anyway, it's on YouTube now. So that was a big mistake on my part. Anyway, let's get to my guest for today. He's from Late Night Reds. He's from the Riverfront. He's none other than Tim Daniels. Daniel, not Daniels. What's up, Tim?
I was not expecting that cool little introduction there. Thanks.
Hey,
Thanks,
I try to do what I can here. So I kind of teased a little. We'll get the Reds here in a minute. But I teased a little bit. Joe Burrow, walk around. He's fine. Did people overreact?
No, people never overreact. Everyone was so calm and waited for the results like we all do as normal human beings.
I mean, dude, it was like people were going nuts. Like, Joe can't get a break. Oh my goodness, he is he just? People are like, how many injuries does he have to have before he just it's enough? I'm like, it's a strained calf.
Yeah,
I mean, I get those. I mean, it's
right.
not, and I'd rather him get quote unquote injured now than during the season. So I mean, I don't know. I know he's Joe Burrow. I know he's jackpot. He's the franchise. I get it, but I think everybody can just relax. I mean, I still say put him in bubble wrap and let him get to the season, and we'll go from there. I mean, it's a long season. We hope to play 20, 21 games, and Joe, we want him for all of them. So yes, Michael, you're right. He is not walking with a limp. So
yeah,
I think he's gonna be fine. We'll see. Now we'll ahead some Red stuff here, Jared. I'm curious your thought on this one.
Oh boy,
Verlander to the Reds. Strawberry is looking sweeter and sweeter by the minute. I had to tell old Nick Kroll my prediction. I don't know. They're going to have to give up an awful lot, and he's going to have to want to come here, I don't know. What's your thoughts?
Well, that's been like the guy I've been talking about for 3 or 4 days now. I would absolutely love it. Like you said, the big question is, would he be willing is kind of the thing, does it, but if there's a situation where you can get Justin Verlander, who can kind of, who's been awesome, like really since May, since he had a first couple starts, so he got back from the IL. He's struggled a little bit, but it's been really good for his last handful of starts. This looked like, the Verlander we all know as, the guy who's won Cy Youngs and World Series. I think that he's got to be someone who makes a lot of sense for them, and people were kind of sitting in a situation where it's like, well, I don't want to give up this prospect or that prospect or this prospect. And I get it. I do. But my answer to that is all that matters is Major League wins and losses.
Right.
It's all that matters. So if we're going to do this thing, we're going to get caught up on Cam Collier, who's playing in low A Daytona. Like, I love Cam Collier, has a ton of upside, could definitely be a guy in the future who can help the big league club. But if this is a situation where it's like Cam Collier's keeping you from getting Justin Verlander, what are we doing?
Right. No, I'm with you on that. I mean, I don't want to get. I'm like, I had this conversation with Jared. I think probably about a month or so ago. I think he's commenting here again, and Verlander wasn't pitching all that great at the time. Mm-hmm. He's totally flipped around and pitching really well. I did not want to give up CES or Morte or any of those guys, but some guys in lower A, maybe double A, fine. I have no problem with that for Justin Verlander. But the thing is, though, he owed him a lot of money, and he's got what, 2 more years?
Year and a half, and then he has a mutual option for 25.
So it wouldn't be a thing where, which is not bad. We're not picking him up and he's just done at the end of the year. But right. He's also 40, 39.
Yeah, but like, does that matter anymore for pitchers?
Really not for him.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And like, we're talking about a team also that, if it's a situation like last year, right, where it's like, the Moose money's still on the table and the Votto money is still big money.
Right.
I've talked about this many times. I fully suspect Joey Votto will be on the 2024 Reds. I just don't know what the salary is going to look like.
I think he will be too. Just
but like in that situation, probably not a good idea to bring on Justin Verlander. But you have all these guys pre-arbitration right now who are helping your ball club, and the only money you really have on the books for next season is the Hunter Green contract, which is like, not bad at all, realistically.
Right.
I don't think I think it's a risk worth taking. Do I think they're going to do it? No. Would I love it? Absolutely.
Well, I keep hearing, they're talking about last week is they wanted young, controllable pitchers. And that is the exact opposite. I mean, he's controllable, but sure as hell ain't young. But Justin Verlander's freaking Justin Verlander.
Right.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
I would absolutely, I mean, the way he's pitching right now, I would love to get him.
Yeah.
I've changed. Like I said, I was big on getting Shohei. I was going to give up the farm.
Everyone did.
I would have given up the farm to get Shohei. That didn't happen. At least at the time when I was talking about this earlier, Verlander wasn't pitching all that great. But dude, he's, I don't know, the hottest pitcher, one of the hottest pitchers in baseball right now. So I mean, I don't think the Reds are going to do it. I'm with you. I think they want young, controllable guys. I think they're really trying to stick with their plan because. I mean, we all can get upset, and which I mean, we are that it would have helped. They would have got picked up like a better veteran starting pitcher in the offseason.
Sure.
Got the bullpen a little bit, but I don't think they were actually. I know the Reds didn't think they were going to contend this year. None of us thought they were going to. So I think it has a lot to do with what they did in the offseason. Now, with that being said, and we're in first place, and it's almost August 1st, how much are they going to change? How much are they going to go all in? I think, and I've said this before. You don't pick the season picks you. And
that's my point.
Yeah. And it's, but I'm also leery. I've talked with Chad about giving up a lot of stuff. But we have so much. That's the thing. Honestly, I go back and forth, to be honest.
Sure.
I go back and forth because I'm like, yes, I want to go all in. I want to go get Justin Verlander, but I don't want to give up a ton because, Tim, we could be good for a really long freaking time with all these guys that we have. But the problem, like my son says, where are they all going to play? I mean, we have Jonathan Indy right now who probably is going to get traded at the end of the year. Matt McLean is probably your future second baseman. Ellie's your shortstop. Morte is your third baseman most likely. Steers here, first base, outfield. I don't know.
Well, he's playing second base tonight.
Yeah, which I don't get that one totally right.
Apparently, he said it's his best position.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't doubt it, but I mean, I'm like, why not put him at third, put Elliott short, and McLean at second?
I don't know. The more I watch Ellie De La Cruz play third base, the more I'm kind of like, cool.
Yeah. Oh,
don't mess with it.
Yeah. No, he's a great third baseman. I have no problem with that at all. I mean, and maybe Steer can play second base, and he's fine. It's just curious because has he played second base at all this year? No, I don't.
No, not here.
Yeah. So that's just kind of interesting. Going down the stretch, Jonathan Indy goes down. Everybody just assumes Matt McLean's going to go over. Like, nope, we're going to put Spencer Steer there. So it's just kind of head scratch a little bit. But maybe you're right. Maybe they like Ellie so much at third. And Matt McLean, he's a hell of a shortstop, too. Wherever you put Matty Bats, dude can ball. Right. You can probably put him in the outfield and he can play good.
Yeah, he played center field for quite a bit in AAA. So, you made a point earlier that is kind of my sticking point with all this. And that, it's not like you pick the year you contend. And I think that's the part where I kind of am like, all right, no, like they should take a run at this because everyone who's kind of talking like you are, and you're not wrong. I don't think the Reds are wrong either route they go here.
Right.
I think if they believe like, hey, let's hold on to these guys and let's see what happens in 24. Okay, cool. Keep your system. You've done a great job building it. That's wonderful. But if you're like, hey, I want to go get, you talked about younger guys. Okay. I want to go get Eduardo Rodriguez from Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. Yeah, make a deal. This whole thing is so like when people are like, well, they'll be good for years to come. The Padres were supposed to be good for years to come. The Mets won 100 games last year. Mm-hmm. They're selling like crazy now. The Cardinals are an obvious example, which everyone loves to see, obviously.
I love to see the Tweety Birds going down. It's great.
Yeah, the Yankees, the freaking Yankees. How many teams? The Guardians were in the playoffs last year. They're of the outside looking in. They're trading guys off. I kind of like the Syndergaard trade for them, honestly. But, so this is kind of where I'm at, where, either side I don't think is wrong. But I also am leery of holding off till next year because you don't know what happens next year.
Yeah. I mean, the way they're, I mean, Tim, I've said this on here so many times. They have 5 rookies that come up here and play like they are, including our ace, Abbott. I mean, he's our ace right now. That's a once in a lifetime thing to happen. Right. I mean, I've never, and I'm not trying to overhype this, but Tim, in my 40 years of being on this earth, I've never seen 5 rookies come up and play this good. I mean, that's where I'm like, maybe you do go all in. Maybe you do because this doesn't happen. When these things happen, you need to take advantage of it.
Yeah, and I think that's what makes it fascinating, right? We just had last night on the show, we had my buddy Joey Ricotta on from On Tap Sports. He's a Cubs writer who kind of came and gave us some insight on the team and their recent success.
Mm-hmm.
And we talked about the team that won the series when they brought up Brian and Baez and all those guys and how they kind of just clicked at once. And you can make the case that this group is better than that group, and they won a World Series.
I think they only won one. I always thought the Cubs might have won more than one, but it was
one's all you need, man.
Huh?
One's all you need, like for your legacy. I mean,
true.
No one's looking at the other guys were just like, oh, well, this, no one's looking at Brett Favre and discounting the fact he only won one Super Bowl.
I got a super chat here for it. Tyler, I gotta read this out. $20 super chat. I appreciate it.
Whoa.
Ty, hey, Iceman, I've been in Georgia and I haven't been able to make it to practice yet. Since you have, how do you feel the right tackle battle is shaping up? From the clips I think Jax Carman is looking a little better. I think Jax Carman is looking better. I think it's Jonah Williams' job. I think it's gonna be Jackson Carman's job next year. Jonah's still recovering from his two dislocated kneecaps. So just my opinion, I think they've been splitting it back and forth, a playing time there. And it's mostly, I think, because they want to get Jackson as much playing time as they can to further his development. And also Jonah is still coming back. But I personally, I think it's going to be Jonah Williams. I mean, it's the money. He's going to be paid a lot of freaking money. And I don't see, I'm hoping that Lael, they keep him on the bench or keep him so he's a backup for us. And that's a lot of money. So I can't see them putting two guys that make a ton of money on the bench. I'm hoping for one, and that's Lael. So I think Jackson, I think he's our right tackle next year. I think Jonah's the right tackle this year. Anyway, get back to thanks for the super chat, Tyler.
That's
I hope to see
cool.
you at practice if you come down, or Ty, I should say. But yeah, get back to the Reds here. So we got the Cubs tonight at 8:00, and you're talking about how the Cubs similar or did what how they won the World Series in 2016. Mm-hmm. And I agree with you. I think we have more talent. We got 5 guys, and we have pitchers. That's one thing Chicago never had. They never developed any young pitchers.
They can pitch now, holy moly.
Mm-hmm. And then if we could get Verlander, and then hopefully Hunter Green comes back and Lodolo comes back sometime soon. Jeez, just think about that is exciting. I mean, how close do you think Hunter Green and Lodolo are right now?
So everything that C-Trent kind of had to lay out last week of all the pitchers in the system who have been hurt for a while now. So it looks like Hunter Green, they're game planning for the end of this month or the end of August. So that sounds like something that the franchise is pretty confident in. Lodolo is interesting. I know he's kind of on the same trajectory, but I just don't know because, being in a boot as long as he was in, and all of a sudden you're like, you can pitch.
He hasn't pitched since what was that, April when he went on?
Yeah, mid-May. Yeah,
somewhere around there. It's been a while. So
yeah, I'm trying to think because Brandon Williamson came up and took his spot in the rotation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those are the two you're kind of game planning on, right? And I think that late August is great if you get one of those guys and you do get one of these starters. I just saw someone, I think Jared said earlier, does Erod really move the needle?
I was just looking. That's what I was just looking at. Yeah,
I'm with you. I'm not 100% certain. I think that a guy like Verlander, yes. A guy like Blake Snell, absolutely. Maybe Erod's not the right guy, but I do like what he's brought. Apparently, the report that came out today was the Reds and the Orioles have been the most active looking for starting pitching. So you like to see that, right?
Yeah. Well, you want to be active, and the thing I kind of want to. I almost hate to do this because I was so hard on him, but I almost want to say Nick Krall we trust. I mean, he's made some hell of trades. Now, like I said, he didn't do anything in the offseason, but I don't think that's because he was allowed to. That's
right.
That's where we're at a completely different point than we thought we were going to be. And Nick Krall has just knocked it out the park with these trades. So I think Nick's going to do what's best for the team now and the future. That's kind of where he's at, and so I like it that they're looking around. It might not be. It might be last minute. Midnight they make a trade. Who knows?
Yeah, it very well could be something that we wake up tomorrow morning, look at our phones, and go, "What the heck happened?" Right? I mean, that's what happened the other night. I was out of town with my wife. We went and saw our family up in Cleveland. When they made when the Giolotto trade happened, I woke up and kind of had to look at it 2 or 3 times to make sure I was reading the right thing.
Right.
Yeah, man, I think it's fun though, right? I'm still very adamant they should have gone and got a roll to Chapman. I think he would have been absolutely perfect as a lefty out of this bullpen.
That'd been nice.
It's not nostalgia talking. Look at his numbers. He's been really good since he changed his mechanics. But that didn't work out. Such is life. But this is going to be really interesting. It's a really interesting place to be. You haven't seen something like this in a long time. It goes back to what you were saying earlier, going back and forth and wavering. So, I think it's win-win either way. If you want to trust what you've built with the talent, great. But if it's a situation where you can go get a top-end starter that you can count on to potentially pitch game 1 of the NLDS in your ballpark.
Oh, you're getting excited.
I'm getting
butterflies. You talk about Tim. I'm like, oh my goodness, that'd be awesome.
Look, we lost 100 games last year.
I know.
Like, we've earned this if they go for it, okay? Like, and all these fans who are like, well, Chattanooga's going to the playoffs, and so is Dayton and Louisville. It's like, okay, great, but what are the Reds doing?
Exactly. Right now, we're going to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Right now. I love it.
Yeah, right now we're playing the Brewers in game 1.
God,
the season ends today.
Yeah.
What do you want to do, folks?
Well, that's the thing, dude. All right, that's a cracks up. We can't beat the Brewers. I mean, we can't. But the thing is, you remember in 2012, we couldn't beat the Tweety Birds.
Nope, 2010 either.
Yeah, we couldn't beat them. We won the division. We couldn't beat them. So I mean, you don't have to beat them to win the division, but it would help.
Yeah,
we're probably going to face them in the playoffs.
Certainly would help.
Let me get to Jared's question here. He said, just curious for both of you. Love to see you rank your wish list for starting pitcher. Verlander.
This is fun.
Mitchell Keller, Erod, Lorenzen. I like Lorenzen. Jack Flaherty. What do you got?
Ooh, well, Verlander's the obvious one.
Obviously, yeah.
Yeah.
See, I like Lorenzen. I mean, Lorenzen, I miss. He's one of my favorite Reds. I would love to get Michael Lorenzen back.
I agree, but the problem is anytime you reference one of these old Reds and what we do, people think we're talking out of nostalgia. And it's not nostalgia.
He's really good.
He's been really good.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, he's been pitching really good.
Yeah. So. I do give Erod the slight edge over Lorenzen.
Yeah.
And then, I like Mitch Keller. I think it sounds like the Pirates are pretty interested in keeping him if they can. But
I don't know if the Pirates really trade in a division with us.
Yeah, well, they did with the Brewers last week.
True, that's true. They did. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
right. Yeah. So.
But it's not. It's not an all-the-time thing.
Right.
Flaherty, I stay away from.
Yeah,
he's pitched very well this year. He's breaking his body. For some reason, is breaking down way earlier than it should. I'm not in love with Jack Flaherty pitching for this club. Certainly not Miles Michaelis either. That guy could, just miss the flight to Cincinnati the next time the Cardinals come to town for all I care.
Yeah, for me, obviously Verlander. Then I would say Lorenzen. I just really like how the Lorenzens. Then Erod, then Keller and Flaherty, which I don't.
If you get Lorenzen, will he DH a couple days?
I don't know. That would be interesting. Has he done that for Minnesota this year? Do you know?
No, he hasn't batted yet. I don't really know if he batted for Anaheim last year either. But I looked recently. At that point, he hadn't had an at bat for the Tigers. So
okay. It's interesting here. John says, so we're going to get back 2 starters and we should back 2 relievers. You want 2 starters and 2 relievers?
I mean,
I don't think we're getting that.
Yeah.
That's an awful lot. If we get 1 starter and 1 reliever, I think we're doing good.
Yeah, absolutely.
I got to put this on. This from my favorite child, my daughter-in-law here, Heather. She said the Reds had the best record in MLB this year. When you take away everyone's games played against the Brewers. Yes. Yeah, we don't play the Brewers. We got the best record in baseball. It's just I've never seen I can't put my finger on why we can't beat the Brewers. I don't our bats just they have really good pitching, but I mean we just I know Dodgers we had their scrubs, but I mean we beat their good pitchers this year too. So I mean
except for Kershaw, but that's Kershaw.
Kershaw.
Kershaw is the exception to the rule.
Yeah, he's a little different, but it's interesting. So all right, so we got tonight 8:00 or 8:05, the Reds Cubs. And the Cubs are 5 games out right now.
4, yeah.
4 games. All right, 4 games out, and they are hot. Do they actually really legit? I mean, I don't think they believe it, but do they have a legit shot of getting back in this thing?
They still got 4 more. They still got more 2 series against the Reds and a couple against the Brewers. So I don't think so. It's not to slight what they've done. I think David Ross has done a great job with that team.
Right.
But they're one of those teams that does really well against teams under 500 and struggles against teams above 500. I believe like the splits are pretty drastic. The run differential is unbelievable. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it's like plus 57. So the bats are great. They're pitched really well. It's just that how do they do against better teams is what's going to be the thing. Personally, I find it really funny that all the crap we heard about how bad the NL Central is, and now we have 3 teams fighting for playoff spots.
Well, I was agreeing with them at first.
Yeah.
Honestly.
The best part about all this for me, for everyone who knows me or listens to my show, know that I just loathe the Pittsburgh Pirates more than like, I don't know, onions and ketchup. Like it's so watching the fact that it's the Cardinals and the Pirates at the bottom of the division.
It's awesome.
It's just beautiful.
It's awesome. I love
Beautiful.
it.
Pittsburgh's an awful place. Don't go there.
Yeah, unfortunately, I've been there. My son used to play travel hockey. We went to Pittsburgh a lot.
I'm sorry. Have you recovered?
I have. Well, but the thing is, I did see one of the greatest football games ever in my life when UC beat Pittsburgh for the Big East Championship back in '09. So that was awesome.
Back when the Big East had football, yeah.
Yes, back when the Big East had football, and those people were devastated, and I enjoyed every last bit of it. It was awesome.
Hey Jeff, do you know how many UC fans it takes to screw in a light bulb?
Oh God, no, how many?
None. They just sit back and talk about how great the previous one was. Hey-o!
Yeah. Anyway, yes, we have a Xavier fan on the podcast now. Hey, I can't talk. You guys have beat us the last couple of years. It's gotta take it.
That's a funny story. So I worked Zip 'em Up Nasty Natty game.
Yeah,
I had a credential for it, and man. So for those who don't know, this is the TBT. It's the basketball tournament. It's an alumni tournament. Teams for they put it together. Honestly, a really great event. I have a blast. Awesome. I have a blast every year I work it. I have so much fun. I love the rules, but so Jacob Evans hits the 3 to win the game. You would have thought they won a real crosstown shootout. No. Oh my God! They're like forming the court. They're like waving fans off like it's like Damian Lillard beating the Thunder. I'm like, I look at my buddies. I'm like, guys, this is insane.
Yeah, there was a Twitter blew up that night. I unfortunately, I couldn't stay and watch the game. I gotta go to work. I saw Twitter the next day. I'm like, oh, cool, we won. I'm like, holy crap! Everybody needs to calm the hell down.
Yeah.
Well, I know. I'm glad we beat them, but geez, act like we've been there before or something. Dang on.
But I mean, hey, kudos. They're in the Final Four.
They play.
They play tonight.
Yep, 7:00.
Friday Beers.
Who's Friday Beers? What's
the only player I saw, and I looked at their roster. The only player I necessarily knew was Gabe York because I followed the G League pretty closely.
Okay.
And he's really good. So that was the only name I really knew, though.
Now, for everybody who doesn't know, whoever wins this, they win $1 million.
Yeah.
So it's and there's money goes to charity too.
It's weirdly split up.
Yeah, I never have understood that.
I need to get in touch with Kevin so he can explain it to me, but.
Yeah,
because Kevin Johnson's their GM.
Yeah, you need to get him on. Just call him up now. Get him on the show. We can talk about it.
Yeah, I think he's a little occupied, but
I know. Yeah, that's on ESPN. I think tonight. I know it's on. I think it's on ESPN. That starts here in about an hour, so about 7:00. So I'll be watching that, and then go watch the Reds at 8:00. But I mean, we can't talk a little college hoops here. Let's do that.
Sure.
So the Bearcats, and we'll get to Xavier. But the Bearcats are starting
that's fine.
Bearcats are starting in the Big 12 for the first time we get back to the big boy conference ever since we left the Big East. Just so happened that it sounds like or not sounds like Colorado is coming to the Big 12 next year. Rumors are it might be Arizona coming. In general, is the Big 12 making a move? Is the Pac-12 going to go away because we're going to have 6 teams, 8 teams, something like that?
Yeah, it's like Oregon and Oregon State going to be all that's left?
Yeah, because I mean, it's still be weird. USC and UCLA are going to be in the Big 10. That's
so weird.
Yeah, that still blows my mind. But if you look at the Big 12, I mean, it's us in West Virginia, and everybody else is out west. So, I mean, that's the way it is now. Where do you think the Big 12 has actually positioned themselves as far as being one of the super conferences now? Since they were falling back, and I think they're starting to make strides forward, but they're still losing Texas, Oklahoma. There's still, I mean, there's Texas, Oklahoma. It is what it is.
Yeah.
As far as establish themselves as one of the big boys now.
Well, I think basketball-wise, they kind of have been for a little while now, right?
Right?
Kansas and Baylor won national titles recently. Baylor's women's team's always really good. So yeah, it's certainly, it's great for UC. It's absolutely awesome for them. I worry how long it's going to take for them to get the talent to equal playing in that conference because I think Wes has done a phenomenal job recruiting. I think Jizzle James, you read that he's good, and when you see him play, it's a different level of good. If he does what I've seen him do in person, he is going to be unbelievable for them.
Now that's the problem I think that we've had the last couple of years. Like, when Hugs is here, we didn't have NBA. When Hugs was here, we had NBA players. Since Hugs has left, Lance Stevenson,
Jacob Evans, Troy Copain.
I mean, not a lot. I mean, none of those guys had
not too many.
Yeah, I mean, Lance Stevenson is the one that had I wouldn't say a long career.
Gary Clark.
Yeah, well, he's in and out of the. He's in and out of the G League in there. But nobody hell, we had Kenyon Martin, we had Neville, we had all these guys that were, lottery picks.
Yeah.
We haven't had that. And I think that's the biggest problem, to be honest. And it's hard to get them because everybody's one and done now. You have to, or they're not going at all,
Yeah. Losing Tari Eason after the year he was with the team to go to LSU, after the brand and stuff. I'm not going to get into any of that. No, it's not necessary.
Right.
But I think Tarisin with Wes would have been such a big difference for them.
Yep.
He had a great year at LSU. Don't get me wrong. He was awesome. He's a first-round pick for a reason. But yeah, it is hard for both schools, respectively. Like Xavier's in, you can make a case the best basketball conference in the country.
Yeah.
And they don't get a ton of NBA guys either. Colby Jones did just get drafted.
Right.
So that's great, but it's not something that happens all the time for them as well. But yeah, man, it's going to be tricky. So yeah, you mentioned you're losing Texas, you're losing Oklahoma, but you still got to go to Allen Fieldhouse, what looks like it's going to be at least every other year. They go to Kansas this year.
That game. I want to go there. I want to go in that.
I do too.
I want to watch that game. I don't know if I will, but someday I will. I hope.
Yeah, that's going to be fascinating. I think going to Baylor, where that's not an easy place to play either. They're going to have some tough times there, but I think it's going to be great for the shoe. And I'm sure you, like me, Jeff, still refer to Fifth Third as the shoe. Because
yes, it's still a shoe. Yeah, I always call it the shoe. Yeah,
absolutely.
It'll always be the shoe.
Yeah, I tell Melvin this every time I see him. I'm like, this is the shoe.
Yeah.
I think he agrees with me, but he hasn't confirmed it yet. But yeah, man, I think that they're going to be it's going to be a year where it feels like a crossroads year for them. And I don't think Wes Miller deserves to be on the hot seat. I know a lot of people are kind of upset with him about it, but I really believe that he is the guy for the job there. Having conversations with him, being around the program, seeing the atmosphere and the excitement around the team, the players, how excited they are, I think it's going to be really interesting to see how this goes. And if they lose this year and they struggle, don't give up on them because they're doing something. I don't know what it is, but they're doing something over there.
For me, I'm always college basketball coaches in general. You need at least give them 4 years. You got to at least give them their class. They got to give them their seniors. And I think a lot of it. Look, Houston has our number, and I hate Houston. And we still got to go play them.
Yeah, but it's Kelvin Sampson, man. X's and O's for that guy.
Dude, they play our style of ball when Mick was here. They play like we used to, bully ball. And that's where they've gotten in our heads. And I think that's a lot of it where I think we haven't been the baddest dudes on the block like we're used to. That's what I think a lot of Bearcat fans are getting a little frustrated with. And look, everyone wants to win. I want to win. We're used to winning, but we haven't, it's been 20 years or 25 since Huggins was here. And, we're going to the NCAA tournament every year. And beginning of his run, we were going deep. Toward the end, it was all first round out. But you know what I'm saying. That's what everybody's trying to get back to. But the thing is, like you said, this conference is going to be a beast. I think the Bearcats are going to make the NCAA tournament just because of the conference that they're in. I mean, I think somebody got in with 6 conference wins last year for the Big 12.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's doable that they'll get in. I now what they do in the tournament is it's just like Xavier, and I'm not knocking either one of them. They are in great basketball conferences. That's just the way it is. That's why you get into these, you know. So money obviously, but also competition gets better. I mean, so that's where I think they're going to get it. I think it's going to be more determined of what they do in the NCAA tournament for as far as how people feel about Wes.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and that's all that matters. This goes back to what we talked about the Reds earlier.
Mm-hmm.
All that matters is big league wins and losses. No matter what you guys do in the minors, did you help the big league team win games?
Right.
And that's, this is obviously a little different, but for them, it's about like, okay, great. You got a 2 seed in the Big 12 tournament. Okay. Did you make the tournament? Did you go to the Sweet 16? No? Okay. We move on. Right. And I think that people who want to discount the fact that they got to the semis in the NIT last year is silly. I think that for where they were and what they were going through the 2 or 3 years before that, I think that was a great year for them. And what they were able to do to get the kid that beat them in the NIT and bring him over,
right?
That's great for them. I like this team. I don't know how good they are necessarily, but talent on paper, I think they look really good. I'm not dogging the kid because I do think he's talented. I'm not as in love with Rayvon as most are. I don't think he's a bad player by any stretch of the matter. I'm not trying to say this, but I think he's a contributor. I don't think he's the savior.
Okay. I haven't seen any of them play yet, so I have to go by you. I've just seen videos and stuff. But one thing you did bring up is what the Bearcats went through the last, I'd say 4 years. I mean, and everybody remembers when Huggins got fired. I mean, Mick came in, they had one player.
Yeah.
Basically, that's what happened when Brandon left. I mean,
he was like well reported, like I'm going to football practice trying to get guys to come play. Like,
but after the whole thing with Brandon and Wes comes in, he had to start all over again. There was really nothing here. That's why a lot of transfers, trying to get guys to stay that were from Brandon's regime. Now he's only been there for 2 years. This is going to start his 3rd year. You got to give him some time to develop. And I just remember how long it took Mick to actually really get. When Mick left, we had a legit Sweet 16 team. We should have went to the Sweet 16 if we didn't freaking lose to Nevada.
Dude, game right after you guys. We're the 1 seed and lose the Florida State.
I know. We played the same. I know. That was unbelievable. The back-to-back Cincinnati teams lost in the same building, right?
Yep, same building.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. I still remember this. Oh, my God. We were kicking their ass. And it got to the point where I was paying attention, but it wasn't like all in because we were so far up. Then all of a sudden I look up, I'm watching my dad, and I go, they were within like 5 points. He's like, what? I'm like, yeah. So I'm like, all right, we all got to focus. And it just, and that was one of the hardest losses for me as far as any of these NCAA tournament, because we had a really good team. We should have won at least
both teams.
Team. Well, the hardest one obviously is Kenny Martin breaking his leg because we could have won the whole freaking thing. But anyway, let's get into a little bit of Xavier talk here. Okay. Now they're going into the Big East, and I've heard some crazy stuff there.
Gonzaga.
Maybe Gonzaga, I heard that, but then I heard something about you. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I heard UConn maybe going to the Big 12, but I mean, they don't even have, they have football, but they're in the Big East, and Big East doesn't have football. I don't know what's going on with Gonzaga or UConn. I mean, UConn just got there. They're not going to leave again, are they?
I hope not, because they're awesome. And you like having them there, and I know everyone loves dogging on Danny Hurley. So
the thing is, Danny Hurley's a huge Bengals fan.
I know,
he's a huge Bengals fan, but he's so
funny
obnoxious.
Story.
Yeah.
So Xavier played before they went to came back to the Big East. Xavier played them in the Charleston Classic. Mm-hmm. This was 19. And I was there covering the game in Charleston, South Carolina. Probably my favorite location to visit. That's not Disney World, by the way. Unbelievably beautiful year round.
Oh, I've been there. It's a great city.
And that was the double overtime game,
right?
Where there's like just crazy back and forth. Najee Marshall hits the big shot. Dan Hurley is like walking through before the game, and he bumps into someone I know pretty well who's like pretty involved in the college sports recruiting committee. He's like, "Yeah, who dey?" And I'm like, I've never heard someone not from Cincinnati say that before.
Yes.
I was like, kind of like turned my head for a second. I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
So If I'm sure Val Ackerman is going to do everything possible to keep them in the Big East. Because I think they know that that's a big loss if they walk away. I just don't know where if UConn goes. I think we're at the point there of the old classic Super Six conferences we keep hearing about, right? And I think that's the part we're kind of running into. So yeah, I think the Gonzaga thing sounds goofy to me, but all of this sounds goofy,
All
right?
of it sounds goofy. I mean, UC being a Big 12 sounds goofy to me, but I'll
Dude,
take it.
So, think about Rutgers here. Okay, Rutgers is the Big Ten, obviously. They're going to have nights where they have to go out to Los Angeles for 10 p.m. kickoffs on the East Coast to play USC.
Yeah.
What benefit do they get from that? USC, they're so fast and they're so talented. They can play anywhere.
Rutgers just go get their ass. Rutgers has no shot at ever being good, I don't think.
It might be a 67-3 game. You know what I mean? It's going to be wild. So I think the Big East is kind of in a situation where, the idea of it is, this is what basketball does. And this whole, it's not the same as it used to be, blah, blah, blah crap. It's so annoying because, Villanova is in the Final
Four. It's not going to be. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, none of it's like it used to be.
They still win championships.
They do.
The conference still wins championships.
Yeah.
So UConn just won the national title. Villanova was there, quite a bit. So it is what it is, man. I think Xavier's very happy in the Big East. Everything I kind of understand. I think they're going to stay put as long as possible, unless something crazy comes up. But I don't know what conference fits them better for what they want to do.
No, I mean they don't have football. They have almost everything else. I mean, it makes perfect
There is
sense.
the talks of D2 football coming back for Xavier.
Oh, is there? Oh,
yeah.
Cool.
It's going to be a little while, but
that's the thing is if they actually dip their toe into the football, as the money start calling, I'm like, can we get up to D1? Can we do? That's where things. I mean, because that's what originally happened to the Big East. The Big East was originally just a basketball conference, and then they started getting the Miamis in, and they started getting more football. And that's kind of what changed the original Big East. Was football. That's why one of the reasons why the Catholic Seven broke away and took the Big East and left us high and dry, and all the basketball schools just went to the Big East. So that was the originator of the idea. But money talks, man. If they can make more money, these schools. I don't know, dude. It's
you can't blame them.
No, but it's so chaotic of who's going chaotic. Where. Like I said, the Pac-12 might be gone. I mean, a couple years ago we thought the Big 12 was the one that was be gone because everybody's leaving. Now they've jumped ship and gotten themselves righted, which is great for UC. Now, does the Big 12 are they ever come out with their own actual network that we could actually like run by ESPN or anything like that? Because they don't have the Big 12 network.
Happen.
Yeah, they call it the Big 12 Network, but it's not an actual channel. It's just name. It's just in name. Have you heard anything about that or anything? Or
I haven't. I imagine they're not too far away with the different changes they've been making and the funding the schools are getting. So I imagine that will be something that does happen. I just think it might be a little bit curious to see how long it takes.
Yeah. Now, Michael has got a great point. This is what I said. The SEC is going to be brutal with Texas and Oklahoma. I still don't I mean, I know it's money, but Texas and Oklahoma haven't been doing that great in the Big 12. I mean, Texas hasn't won in, 20 years?
No, they've been good at basketball the last couple of years.
Basketball, yeah, but the money's – you go to the SEC for football. That's you go there.
Unless you're Kentucky.
Yeah, exactly. Unless you're Kentucky. But, I mean, they're going to get their ass – I mean, they're going to beat each other up. And some people are like, well, so that's going to make – if you go to the 8 in football, so if you go to 8 now, it's 4. If you go to 8, then there's 4 are going to be for the SEC. I'm like, I guess. I mean, I guess that's the way you would have to handle that. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be 4 every single year. But if not, the SEC, if they don't keep it, if they keep it at 4, these guys aren't all going to get in because they're not going to put all 4 SEC teams in. Right. That's what the thing is. It's got to expand because of how brutal the SEC is, I think.
Yeah, I think with the conference realignment, it's only a matter of time before we see an extended college football playoff. I think that just makes the most sense.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what they're waiting on. Probably TV contracts or something.
My hot take about this, though, is I'm not pro 8 teams. I'm kind of more pro 6 teams. I really love this idea of 1 and 2 get a week off.
Yeah.
And then 3 and 6 and 4 and 5 play each other to advance, much like the NFL playoffs used to be.
Mm-hmm.
and kind of see how it goes from there.
Yeah, that
It
would
won't
give
happen because money, like you mentioned, but
right. But that would give the teams incentives to go for the buy. You want to get as many wins as you can. Now, will
sure,
that make them schedule weaker though? You know?
it could.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the thing too, man. I talk about this all the time because I'm a Notre Dame guy, right? So like
Right.
everyone gives us shit for our schedule this year. When Notre Dame scheduled all those teams were Louisville was a top 10 team in the country. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
all these teams that they have coming up in the schedule this year were pretty darn good. Well,
Right.
maybe not Duke, but like Duke's better at football now than they were then.
Right.
So like that, these games are scheduled out like 10, 15 years in advance at times. It's like, how do we know how good that team's going to be? Like, yeah, Ohio State sounds like they're going to be good every year, but now it's like people are talking about like they might not be what we think they're going to be this year because they want, CJ Stroud's gone, and this guy's gone, next guy's gone. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to tell you anymore.
Right, exactly. It's hard to keep up with that. Jared here, I guess this just happens. It just in a Brewers
Oh, wow.
offense with Mark Cano. Come on, Crawl. Have you seen that guy? I have not got a chance to look at Twitter.
Let me see if it's on the net. Oh, yeah, sure enough. Mark
go.
Kana for
Kana.
Justin Jarvis. Okay. And then, wow, Paul Sewald going to Arizona from Seattle. That was an interesting name. I thought could make sense. It's a 3-team trade. I thought that was a guy that could make sense for the Reds to be in the rotation, but
not anymore.
Yeah. When you have Alexis Diaz, I guess you aren't dying to get back end bullpen guys.
Yes,
so.
we have Alexis Diaz. We're good. We have Ian Jabot. There's two sides to every Jabot.
You mean Ian Jagoat?
Jagoat.
Ian Jabot with no runners on is freaking Mariano
awesome.
Rivera.
Oh, yeah.
Mariano Rivera. Like,
yes. Me and my son have this conversation all the time, and he's dead on. He goes, he doesn't do well in high pressure situations. Now, I say that, and I think it was the Saturday game against the Brewers. He came on with, I think, 2 on, 1 out. He got out of it. So he does, but most of the time he doesn't. I always do my Spaceballs reference. There's two sides every short, just two sides every Jabot. Got the good Jabot, got the bad Jabot. So
I liked it.
Anyway, hey, Tim, do me a favor. We've been on for like 48 minutes. Tell everybody about Late Night Reds, the Riverfront, anything else, articles, anything else you want to plug before we get on out of here.
Sure. So Late Night Reds, we're part of the Riverfront Network. So it's our live show every Sunday night. You'll see me and Ben Brown, who we just brought on full-time 2 weeks ago. Fits like a glove. He's fantastic. He's been my friend for like 15 years, so it was very easy. So we're live every Sunday night. We love having the chat and the channel, and people come hang out with us. It's a lot of fun every night. But the Riverfront, it's kind of like this. We've had this really fun show. Jeff and I were on the Riverfront Bengals show with Joe Farsing not too long ago. Yep. I don't know how much Bengals talk we had on there, but we were there.
We talked about all kinds. We talked about Star Wars. We talked about Spaceball. And then we had this big long Twitter thread of just Spaceball GIFs afterwards.
I dug it. Yeah.
Very confusing.
And then, of course, Chad and Nate Dotson, who people were out there pulling up Chad's tweets from 2017 to try to say I told you so, and that's laughable to me. They're the best guys to work for. I have so much fun over there. We have a blast, and we call ourselves the NWO of Cincinnati sports. Woo! So if you're NWO, you're NWO for life. So come hang out with us. We love the interaction. There's more coming too. So keep an eye out. We've got some announcements coming your way. So,
some juicy tidbits. I have to keep my eye out for that. Anyway, Tim, I appreciate you being on for 50 minutes, guys. Go check out Late Night Reds. Go check out Riverfront Reds, Riverfront Bengals, and everything else these guys got going on. They do a great job. I appreciate it. I've had you on now. I've had Chad on. I had a couple of different people on. I'm working on getting the rest of you. I got to become an honorary member of the NWO. I call it the BWO, Bengals.
You're like, well, the BWO is an ECW.
Yeah.
So
are you Blue World Order?
Are you big? Are you big Stevie Cool?
Oh God, this I don't know what you're calling me. I have no idea. Just call me Ice. I'm good with that.
We'll go with that.
All right, Tim. Appreciate you, brother.
Thanks, buddy.
See ya. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. Like I said, go check out the Riverfront. Those guys do a great job over there. And we got the Reds tonight. We got the Nasty Natty playing at 7:00. So I want to get the heck out of here so I can get in front of my TV and go watch it. But I like to thank all the Facebook groups that let me live stream. And as always, I appreciate every single one of them. They are Houday Nation, Houday Legion, Bearcat Ruckus, Radical Reds, the Ohio State Bucknuts, the Ice Bar. And they follow me on all my social media platforms, all under Sports with Strawberry Ice on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok and Threads. Twitter handle is at Jeff A. Treadable. TikTok is at Iceman90. Threads is at sports_with_strawberry_ice. It's really long one, but that's the way it came up. Anyway, YouTubers are at 2,293 subscribers. As always, I appreciate every single one of you guys. If it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be able to do this. I don't know who I have on tomorrow. I'm still reaching out for some people. Talked to Wayne Box Miller today at practice. I'm hoping to maybe try to get him on. Maybe I'll try to drag Trags, but that's these beat writers and stuff. It's kind of hard to get them on right now because, well, they're busy down at practice and they got stories and stuff to write this week, So I will work on getting somebody on tomorrow. Other than that, you guys have a wonderful weekend. Go Nasty Natty. Go Reds. What a great time to be a Cincinnati fan. And go FC Cincinnati. I'll tell you something. I'm working on getting into soccer. We're going to get into it. Anyway, appreciate you guys. That's just sports, baby. See ya!
We talked about it yesterday, just that chip on your shoulder. Everyone talking about a neutral AFC championship game, not even thinking about you guys. How much did that motivate you coming into this?
You better send those refunds.
I'm from the city where they gotta play us. Fuck a coin flip, it's time to pay up. Don't cross the middle, 21 in the cut. We ain't hiding from nobody, run and tell them it's up. I'm from the city where they gotta play us. Fuck a coin flip, it's time to pay up. Don't cross the middle, 21 in the cut. We ain't hiding from nobody, run and tell them it's up. Back-to-back champs, kings of the north with it. Thinking they can hang with us, still ain't jumped out the porch with it. Long bomb to chase every Sunday, watch him go and get it. Double up on him, then we gon' double down on T. Higgins. Then throw Boyd in the mix, now you really iffy. Every Sunday showing boys how to really gritty. They try to shuffle up the game on us, but they ain't icky. Flip the coin, kick the toe Roger to go and get it. Never know what's gonna happen when Joe drop back. He get shiesty in the pocket, I get shiesty on the track. Nobody on the team all pro, that's all cap. Most all around team in the NFL, that's all fact. Ain't came across nobody yet that seem like they can hang with us. They said we couldn't be Buffalo, but see how we call they bluff. Underdogs every week, they keep on trying to label us. Put your money on us, even if Vegas don't favor us. No matter what, we really came up, now it's hard to fail. I dare you come across that middle, Von gon' ring your bell. I know we under they skin, them boys built frail. Eli Apple out there chirping like a next tail. You don't want Salmon Trey to come off them ends. Rita clogging up the middle like a big body Benz. Right behind them Logan and Pratt, the turnover twins. Jesse Bates in the backfield just to clean up the loose ends. We just drafted Cam and drafted Hill. Instant gratification every time that they on the field. We can't go back to what we was, cause that's the loser way. It's been hard to throw on us since we picked up a Woozy. It's like win after win, feel like we could really do it. Zach Taylor doing his thing for the city, I give it to him. And I bet Samaji will find a hole if you give it to him. Hayden Hurst don't need a hole, he just plan on running through him. Just hand it off to 28 and let him do the dash. Getting hit by BJ Hill probably feel like a car crash. Every week it seem like Lou digging deeper in his bag. And if the game on the line, all my faith and money match. I'm from the city where they gotta play us. Fuck a coin flip, it's time to pay up. Don't cross the middle, 21 in the cut. And we ain't hiding from nobody, run and tell them it's up. I'm from the city where they gotta play us. Fuck a coin flip, it's time to pay up. Don't cross the middle, 21 in the cut. And we ain't hiding from nobody, run and tell them it's up.